Welcome back to the Random Shit Talk podcast. I'm Myric,
And I'm Eric.
and this is the Random Shit Talk podcast. So you gonna get us started with this one?
I guess I'll tip it off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna probably get pretty angry on this topic because it drives me up a wall. Oh, I know what the other topic is. Okay, I remember what the other one was. Okay. So I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, and I like pissing off people. So this is a PSA announcement to all the parents who only have one child. You suck. Just putting that out there. You're the worst. You should have had no children. You should, if you're only gonna have one, don't have any. Because for the love of God, your kid is not the next thing coming. And he's not, or she is not all wonderful. And all of their whatever, their effort is nothing. Like, I cannot stand. I mean, all my kids are in sports or in extracurriculars things. And all the parents like me that have multiple kids go, that's nice. Good job, whatever. The parents with one child, you would have thought they turned water into wine. Like, Jesus Christ.
Interesting take on a single child or only child point of view. I guess.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't really tell you that you're wrong because I'm trying to think of people that have one kid around
They're the fucking worst. I look rough tonight. Jeez, do I look rough? I don't care.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody I know that has just one kid.
Like, I understand. Okay, before I get clapback from the internet, because we all know I get the most clapback on this channel, I understand that there's extenuating circumstances. You can only have one child, or maybe you can only afford one child. I get all that. But then understand that your child is still one of many. If you're on a team sport, he or she's one of many. If it's in class, they're one of many. Like, they're not, like, come on, dude. Like, they're not that much better than everyone else, even if they are good. Like, maybe your kid really is good at something, but there's still going to be someone who's better than even them. There's always someone better.
I can see that.
So just have some realistic expectations for your child.
So do you think it's just like they're thinking their kid's going to be like the next Gretzky, or?
Yeah, they just put in too much. They have too much focus on the one child. So they think that they notice every little thing that they do. Like, for instance, I mean, and I know this happens to us when we had our first. Like, when our first child walked, it was a big deal. Like, oh my God. Then our second child walked, it was like, oh, that's cool. Third child walks, like, big deal. And then when you get all the way down to 5, then you're like, who cares? This is. I mean, yours was lucky. Yours was lucky because you finally got your boy at 5, so then it was kind of a big deal again.
Yeah.
But that energy, that first child energy never goes away with only child.
So
that energy, it goes with them all the way up. So when they're 16 and they have no friends because they've ostracized everyone because they are wanting to be the cool, because they think they're better because of mom and dad telling them how much more special they are, they can't figure out why they have no friends.
Okay. I get it. I can see that.
You're like, I got nothing.
I got nothing on that topic, just for the simple fact that where I live, that's very rare that you have a one child household.
Well, that's because basically where you live, everyone's Latina and they get pregnant just like that.
Yeah. You look at them right and
pregnant. I mean, mine got pregnant without parts, so I mean, just pregnant.
It's in the water.
Yep. The second topic, before we jump to yours, it kind of piggybacks, Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Piggybacks off of this topic is, I don't understand. We've talked about this topic in different ways. I just don't understand this generation of children. I just don't get it. I understand that every generation thinks that about the generation after them. Like, every generation goes, that generation sucks, they're losers, whatever. Yeah. I just think that our kids' generation, and when I mean our kids, I mean your older ones. Because I'm not talking about our younger ones. I'm talking about my oldest and your 2 oldest.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what their plan is for life.
So, to stay on the same topic, but to ask a question about that's completely off of that I don't know. I guess it's still on the same topic. You're talking about Gen Z,
Yes.
or as I feel like they should have been called, which they were called, and then they changed it, was iGen.
What the hell is iGen?
Okay, I like it. So iGen was given them that name because of during the time period that they were born or growing up, they were the generation of the iPad, the
Oh.
iPod, iPhone. So they called them iGen at first, and then somebody else came through and started writing Gen Z, and that's what it ended up becoming. But I was like, dang, that was great. It should have stuck with them. I just think that with every generation you have, you're going to have. They always want to act like they reinvented the wheel. Doesn't matter. We did the same thing during
Yeah.
the Boomer
But we didn't
generation.
have as bad as social skills, I don't believe. Because of
Uh,
what you're talking about with all the electronics in their face, I feel like their social skills are as
are
bad as like an
terrible.
autistic kid.
Yeah, they're terrible, and they're only going to get worse. But that's technology. Things
Yeah.
change whenever. But on another segue off of that to another topic would be AI in OnlyFans and in Instagram bots.
So before we get to that topic, a topic that has to do with that we discussed, I believe, the last time, or do we? I don't know if we discussed on air about if you didn't know and you can't tell and it was the best. Do you care? I've taken a strong poll on that one, and everybody's on my side.
Okay, they don't care.
They don't
But
care.
okay,
So I think it
but
goes with the same thing, AI wise. If AI, Instagram, and OnlyFans, you don't know, why do you
I, I
care?
I get that. But let's think about this. For instance, the OnlyFans topic. One, I don't understand the point of paying for anything like that. But now you're
You wait one
paying.
more day, it's free.
So, but now now you're paying for somebody like me to figure out this AI program, create whoever, and then you're just giving me money for pictures that I've created with AI, and I'm like, I'm about to get rich. I'm
Like
not
I
even
don't
gonna play.
know. I as someone who has never paid for any of it in person or not, I'm too cheap. Everybody knows me, knows I'm too cheap. It's not because I'm morally against it. I'm not. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
it hail. I'm not gonna make it rain.
Yeah.
Um, I don't get why someone would pay for it. I do understand though why somebody would introduce AI to it because it's taking the power away from.
Oh no, there's gonna be some mad females.
Yeah, you're taking the power away from the thoughts out there,
Yeah.
and you're basically saying we don't need you. Like we already created robots; those have been out. Now we're
Yeah.
creating AI. We're getting to the point where we're like we don't need a woman besides to procreate. We're getting
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna really hit some. The transgender movement's kind of done the same thing. Like they've made women even more of a backseat than a man has. Like transgender women, I think have ruined it for women because I think they
Yeah.
basically said our rights are more important than so it's like men's rights, transgender women's rights, and then a woman's rights. It's like
So I guess it's my turn to piss people off this time. So I could care less on what you want to call yourself and all that stuff. You know the whole "there's only two genders" thing. Even
I don't know it all.
LGBTQRZ, even them, even the alphabet gang believes that. And the only reason I say that is because of the B in their name. It stands for bi. Bi is two. So there's that.
I'm not gonna lie to you, that might be the best way to describe them. Though I love the Alphabet Gang. I love when people call them that because that's the best name for them.
What people kept saying, the Alphabet Boys, and I was like, no, 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 don't get that confused with the CIA,
Yes,
the FBI, and all those guys. They're the Alphabet Gang. It's completely different.
100%.
So,
So
uh,
going back to the original topic, I honestly think I don't care if you don't know any better. Who cares if it's
yeah,
AI? If it used to be a man, I don't care.
yeah.
I
So
don't.
that's interesting though. Like,
But I would never pay for it regardless.
how
So
mad? How mad would you be? And like,
what do you mean mad? Like you watched a porn and it was all AI generated?
no, not that, because you're not getting anything out of that. But I'm talking about
You're talking to a guy that actually cares about the storyline in porn. So
Oh,
I have to get invested in order to even get my head around it.
right, come on, Susie. You know you didn't get stuck in that dryer. Come on, we know
Oh
better
my
than
God.
that.
Yeah, all of those. No. I need a storyline. Okay, how did he end up here? Was you were his babysitter? Okay, all right. I can
All right.
understand that. I'm with it. And now that all these teachers are coming out getting caught, I understand the storyline more. I'm like, okay, so maybe this is more real than we thought.
Yep. It's funny though when you think about the storylines. That's hilarious.
I have to.
I,
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have to get into it. If I'm gonna
yeah,
I gotta focus.
man.
I'm
It's like
horrible. I'm not. I
it's like,
understand that I'm the worst man out there because I can't just look at like. I don't understand guys that can just look at pictures. Like a picture does nothing. Like seeing a picture of a hot girl is like, oh, that she's hot, but it doesn't do anything. There's no
so
like anything to it.
okay. So speaking of the picture thing, so I've seen it's not really a meme anymore. It's like a short on everything now. A short video that was like, why are guys still asking girls for nudes or whatever? And I was like, well, listen, and like the guy cuts it off and he's like, you can basically get nudes on the internet every day, any time of the day, whenever you want to. But he was like, but it's different when we're asking for yours because we know you personally, so that makes it different for them. And I was like,
Yes.
understandable.
Yes. I completely agree with that. Like getting a nude from my wife would not that my wife has never sent one in her whole life, but at least to me, um, it was way better than I completely agree with that sentiment. I also agree. There's a girl that said, "Why does a man want nudes? Wouldn't he rather have a picture of me cooking him something? Like here's what I made you. Here's what's waiting for you on the table." I said, "Fuck yeah! I would much rather have a picture of what's going to be waiting for me on the table."
Like I could care less, honestly. Like at this point, I guess I don't know. I guess it's my age now at this point, but I'm just like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
it don't work no more.
We needed to stop it working a long time ago.
That's fair.
Well,
Especially you,
apparently,
Jesus.
apparently not though, because I mean, we say we need to get it stopped working, but maybe it never worked.
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was in your shoes, I'd be popping paternity tests left and right. But that's just me. On a different note, because I don't feel like having the wife come stab me. Um, what is your opinion about all the YouTube channels who all do the same thing in a different way? So, like, if you watch,
Example.
comedian podcasts, they're
Okay.
almost all the same. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. It's basically two guys like you and me talking, but because they're comedians, they're supposedly it's funny. Or a
Yeah.
golf podcast or a golf YouTube channel. Exception of one, I do think one is different, but that's because I'm biased. But for most of them, it's just, hey, let's play a game against each other, stroke play, match play, whatever. I feel like YouTube has become cable television. Where if you were on CBS or NBC or ABC, it was the same shit, just different names and different people in it. I think YouTube's kind of the
That's
same thing.
but that's the creativity of the creator. Like if most of them are trying to do, they're piggybacking off of this was good for this YouTube channel, so let me try it and see if I can do it the same way or better. Whereas I feel like you're not being creative with it at all. For instance, I'm gonna give a little bit of when I first wanted to create my golf podcast, and it really wasn't even a podcast. The channel is not even a podcast. It wasn't anything to do with the wanting to do a course vlog or wanting to do matches or anything like that. And I still haven't done it. I started my own tour, but the tour is just me playing. So the first couple episodes was just going to be me trying to break 100. And then once I break 100, trying to break 95. Then once I break 95, try to break 90. And then once I get to a consistent place that I'm playing at, because I've been playing a lot, then every time out, my goal would be to beat that, see if I can beat my lowest score. the problem with that is nobody wants to watch that. That would get so boring. So
that's
boring.
fair.
So
You have
that's
to make
where,
it snippy, snappy for them.
yeah, or they're just going to get bored with it and stop watching it. The other thing is, no YouTubers or content creators ever follow through. They never finish anything that they're starting. They're like, oh, we're going to do this series, and that series will get going, and then you'll be like, hey, where's that next series? And it wasn't getting very many views because people got bored with it, and so now they've went on to something different. And then
that's true.
I mean, that's why I've like stopped watching a lot of different YouTube content creator accounts. Like, you don't finish anything you start, which leads back to that generation thing where you think about it now. I heard a song on Spotify on my way to work that was like 1 minute and 20 seconds long, and I was like, where's the rest of the song? And they were like, oh, well, you can't keep the attention of anybody anymore. Like, they're halfway through a song now and they click to another song. So they were like, we'll just start making songs.
I'm the guy that listens to the same song over and over when it comes out.
Yeah.
Dude, that's annoying. All right, you said you got 4 topics. Hit me with one of them.
So the first one was the AI in only F or OF and IG. So but it correlated with everything else. The other one is, did you watch the movie Leave the World Behind?
Is that the one with Julia Roberts?
Yes.
No, everyone keeps telling me about it though.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm gonna be I didn't know that the producers.
It's a series of movies.
No.
I thought it was going to be a series of movies.
It's off the book. It might be a series of movies, but it's off the book.
Okay.
And I didn't know that it was produced by the Obamas. So as soon as it came on, I was like, oh, this is going to be like a woke type movie. And I don't really fall into the liberal conservative thing, but at the same time,
no, we fall into common sense.
Yeah. So I was like, this is going to be one of those. I can't really. I'll watch it, but I'm not expecting a lot from it. Then I watched it, and I was like, it is such a great movie, and it blew me away how good it was. Now, a lot of people are like, the ending's horrible, and I was like, no, that is how an ending should be, and that is
where it's wanting. Will you want more?
It left people wanting more or mad because of how it ended, and I was like, no. Because it just goes to show you, like, the whole movie is talking about us as a society and how what we've been talking about this whole time, different generations and everything else. It lays it all out there for you. And I thought that was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed it. I was like, I got to get his thoughts on this. Maybe I
haven't watched it yet, and I'm not going to lie to you. If you would have told me that before you gave it a thumbs up, you said, hey, it's produced by Obamas, I probably wouldn't have watched it. Not because, like you said, not because I'm like, oh, I hate them. It's more like, I don't want to watch some bullshit that is a fluff piece. Like, that's not me.
But it was so not that. I was like, it was so not that. It was a really good movie.
I'll have to check it out.
It's based off the book, so, I mean, all they did is produce it. And
yeah, that's fair.
They changed a lot as far as the technology and what's taking place in the movie because the book is a little bit older time.
Yeah.
So they had to. So it's really good, though. But you get a chance to check that one out.
No, I'm actually rewatching The Last Kingdom for the 9th time all the way through. Because I love that. I love Uhtred so much. Yeah.
That's a pretty good show. I haven't finished the last season.
It's so much better than Game of Thrones, in my opinion.
The ending?
I think all of it, yeah. I actually think they did a great job on the movie.
They did a very great job with the show, and I loved it. The only thing was, like, whenever she comes back,
Brita
comes back, I don't know, I guess
What are you talking about when she comes back from Iceland?
Yeah, and I was like...
but I will give you that. The only part that I did not like about the ending of the last season is they basically made his daughter Brita. She basically took over that same role of being a crazy broad that does like I didn't like that. I really, really enjoyed the relationship between Uhtred and Alfred though. That is so good.
Yeah.
I still think if you watch Vikings, right?
Yes.
You remember him and the king where they'd sit in the hot tub and talk shit?
Yeah.
I still think that's you and me. Like just sitting there and like these fucking nut jobs. Yeah. Go ahead.
So, that was just the one of the topics, but it's kind of hard to have a long conversation with that whenever
I haven't seen it.
you haven't watched it. So, uh, the other one is karma. Does it really exist?
I believe it does.
I do. I believe it does.
I believe it does, but not in the way we think about it.
I don't think it exists at all.
So
I
I
used to.
think people think so. Yeah, you're a good example of how it might not. That's fair. You're a great example of how it might not. But listen to it this way.
Okay.
What if you looked at it this way? It's not that if you do good things will happen to you. If you do bad things happen to you. I think what happens is if you get into a certain mindset, whether it be good or bad, eventually things catch up to you in a way that you get arrogant one way or the other. So, like,
Okay.
if you do bad things repeatedly, eventually, it's kind of like gambling. Eventually, you're going to get bit.
Yeah.
And if you do good things repeatedly, eventually that should pay off. Now, there's exceptions to the rule. I'm not arguing that, but I do feel like that's a thing. Now, what I think happens to a lot of people, and I think you're a victim of this, is that we don't see the little victories in life sometimes. And we think it needs to be a bigger karma than just being like, hey, I met this. I'm going to toot my own horn. I met somebody that if anything ever happened, I could call him and he'd be there in an hour. Like,
Yeah.
that's worth having because not everybody has that.
Yeah. Now, I get what you're saying there, but where I say karma is not real is you've been told your entire life, hey, you work hard, you do good, and good things will happen to you. And
That's
if you
fair.
ever notice people who work hard
Get
workers,
fucked.
yeah, they never get the promotion, they never get a raise,
They get taken advantage of.
get taken advantage of. And then you look at people who've cheated and done bad things their entire life, i.e., Elon Musk, i.e., Donald Trump, i.e., the Obamas, i.e., any of them.
Yeah.
And yet they're still at the top and they never pay for any of their crimes. The things that we have seen happen and take place, an ordinary man would be thrown in jail for.
Or killed.
Or killed. Whereas for them, they don't get to. So, and I'm not telling people just to go out and do bad, but at this point, I'm like, why would you? Why would you work hard?
So I
and do all
actually
that
think
stuff?
that I don't know if that's karma. I think that's more. It's not what you know; it's who you know.
Okay,
I think that's more of that because I think
but
the
the reason
people
why I
you're
say
describing has all been people that have been born into a system.
okay, but what I'm saying is like this right here. Those people were born into a system, and the reason why I say it's not what you know, or it's not, it is karma and not the other one, is because for me, I feel like it doesn't matter if I took Drew right now and said, "Hey, no matter what you do in life, get yours first. Fuck everybody else. You'll have to lie sometimes. Think about this. If you're talking to your wife and she says, "Hey, do I look fat in these jeans?" We lie to her. We're gonna say
Well, not all
no.
of us do.
I'm saying most of the nice guys are gonna go,
Yes.
"Oh, you look great," or "I
Yeah,
just wear something different." You're not
that's
going
fair.
to
And
be
I think that's
honest.
how you also create beta males.
But what I'm saying is like they're not. You're not being honest at that point in time because if you're honest, they're not gonna like you.
Correct.
But if you aren't honest, they're gonna like you. So why not lie about everything else?
I guess because you lose a piece of your who you actually are. What I mean by
Oh,
that is if when you lie
oh,
enough,
yeah,
I think you forget the original story. It's like when you have a rewrite on a script
yeah.
over and over and over, you forget what the original plot was.
But why should you care?
I guess you want to have positive self-reflection. I don't fucking know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at this point in time,
It basically comes down to can you live with yourself?
I gotta
Can
be
you live with
glad.
the choices you make?
Yeah, but
That's all it
at
comes down
this,
to.
but here's the thing: at this day and age, knowing what I know, I would be able. If you could take me back to that time, I would go back to that time, knowing exactly what I know, and be like, I can live with it. You know why I can live with it? Because being nice and doing the right thing doesn't get you anywhere. So fuck the people over that are gonna fuck you over and get yours. You
What
only
happens
gonna
if you
live
fuck over
once.
someone that you didn't mean to fuck over in the
Shit
process?
happens. Shit happens.
Okay. What if that
Yeah.
what if that person's me?
I think at that point in time, what do you mean? How is
Because
it
you
that I'm
can't
gonna
pick and
know it?
choose. You can't pick and if you're gonna be a piece of shit person, you don't get to pick and choose. You're
Yeah,
either a
you
piece
do.
of shit person.
Yeah, you
No,
do.
because if you're
Yeah, you
lying,
do.
cheating, stealing, doing whatever the fuck you want, you're going to affect everyone. It isn't just going to affect this person or that person. You're going to affect everyone.
But that's the thing. If I went back knowing everything that I know now, and completely
That's not the way
changed
life
who I
works,
am,
honey.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. We wouldn't know each other
Fair, but that's also not the way life works.
because I would have been a dick and been like,
And that's why I
probably
think you
not.
get these small karmas.
But the small karmas don't pay the bills. So let's roll into the next topic, which is the economy and how shitty it is right now.
Oh man.
God.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I know where you live and I know what people are paid down there.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that more people in your area are struggling even more.
Oh, it's only going to get worse. Like, it's about to get 10 times worse. But think about it.
Especially with Christmas.
Think about that. Okay, so people are starting to you're getting pretty good pay raise for this area. Most people around here are averaging around, on the low side, about $22 to $23 an hour now, which is unheard of compared to just 10 years ago. Working at the
5 years ago.
casino,
Yeah.
working at the casino, we were making $10 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Right around COVID time, you're making $15 to $17 an hour. Like, I had to drive an hour and a half to make that $22, $23.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're making it here, but the people that were making 22, 23 here aren't really that high up but you're not really the job. There's not any job. There's not opportunities around here.
No, not where you are. No, unless you want to be a casino worker. No.
Well, you got to work in the triangle. You either work for the Choctaws or First United or what's the other one? Can't think. The college. So if you're not in part of that triangle, then you're not in the in crowd. You're an outsider, and you're not gonna make anything anyway.
You gotta get out of that town, buddy. The shittiest part about the economy situation is and this is the part where it gets me upset with Twitter and all of them, is that you have all these people pointing fingers and throwing rocks. Even people like Joe Rogan and shit that are over here bitching and moaning. But they're bitching and moaning for clicks and not doing a fucking thing. Like, they have the actual power and the actual money to invoke change, and all they're doing is poking just to get a goddamn click.
But here's the thing: if you, man, you have to watch Leave the World Behind. You have to now. Like, you have no choice. You have to watch it because I mean, I already knew a lot of this, but at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, man.
Basically, all of them. I know. I got the. I'm guessing I know the plot where everyone at the hot top are actually all on the same side.
Well, no, and that's what we consider the top. It didn't even scratch the fucking surface.
No. I know there's another. There's people behind the scenes that we don't even know who the fuck they are.
Yeah,
like, people think the Rockefellers just died off. No, they didn't die off. There's other lineage of them.
So speaking of the Rockefellers,
this video is gonna get flagged now.
What do you feel about the whole education thing and why he created it? And
it's the same thing I think that Christianity was formed. It's just another way to control.
So that's my point. Is at this point, why would you not just be an asshole? And I think that,
because I actually don't think it matters. I truly don't. We are so low on the totem pole. I don't think it matters if you're a good person or an asshole. It does not matter. It's not going to really affect things.
Oh, it's not going to affect the big picture, but it will affect your picture. And that's where I say, now that we're older, we know who we can be an asshole to and who not to be an asshole to.
Yeah.
So whereas you said, what if it's going to fuck me over? Well, me knowing a little bit more, no, I'm not going to do that. But somebody I don't know, I'm going to be like, sorry, you should have gotten my inner circle before now. Fuck you. I'm getting mine. So
I remember that when you win the lottery, and I go, "What the fuck? I've been here since the beginning."
Dude, if I won the lottery, let's be realistic here.
I've never
I,
played it. I've never played the lottery.
see, that's my problem is I don't play it,
I'm
but
a broke. I'm a cheap
I'm like,
fucker.
I'm not gonna win. But if I was to ever win the lottery, that's the other thing. I would probably not be.
I'd be the biggest asshole you've ever met.
See, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. I'd be the biggest recluse you've ever met. You'd never see me.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
I'd build a 4 to 5 bedroom home out in the middle of nowhere with a 9-hole golf course, and I would never leave.
100%. It would be this, and all those people that reach out to you for handouts, I'd be like, "Fuck you."
Well, see, I'd change my name again, and that person would be dead. So be like, "Oh yeah, he died."
Yeah, that'd be nice. I wish there was a way that we could still. My voice is still fucked up from last weekend. Sorry. I really wish there was a way that we could fake a death. I wish that was still an option. Technology is too good now, and I understand all that.
You could never.
I wish that you and I were around back in like the 40s and 50s when you could actually do that shit.
So,
dude,
don't like your life.
I would have done it like 4 or 5 times.
Just think, no. See, here's where the little entrepreneur hustler would have came in. Somebody would have been like, "Hey, so and so is about to have a shootout with whoever." Be like, "Oh yeah, we can fake your death for you. We can get you out of here for a small fee." So back then, hamburgers were like a quarter. So 50 cents, I'll get you up out of here, bro.
Dude, you can't even go to McDonald's without like spending for one person without spending like $12. It's ridiculous. Taco Bell is like 15 for this guy.
Man, I will never eat at Taco Bell.
Oh my God. You ate with Taco Bell with me.
I know, I used to all the time. That's not the reason why I don't eat Taco Bell. I'm talking about I will never eat at Taco Bell now just because I'm older. So my stomach is like, that
is the one thing that your God blessed me with. I can eat anything. I have never had acid reflux. I have never had indigestion. None of that shit. Gas bubbles, never had it.
Yeah, well, see, I have the whole ulcer
thing. So no, it's I know.
Stomach's gonna hurt anything so bad.
I have the opposite problem. I don't go shit for 2 weeks.
So, dude, 4 times a day.
I honestly think that half my weight is just my body holding on to shit. Literally, not even so being a smart ass.
So let's tap into our sponsor right now. We're gonna have a sponsor right here. This is where you need that Zupu. You can get Zupu at let me go ahead and bring up the ad so we can talk this out. No, I'm just fucking with you. So we ain't got sponsors. We're not that big time yet.
No, we're not. I mean, we had one clip go well, and even that one wasn't that big. I gotta start.
So what would you?
I got 2 more weeks. I got 2 more weeks of hell, and then I will get back on this bitch big time. We're gonna record another one on Thursday, and then we'll definitely be staying on this shit. You got anything else you want to say?
No. I've touched 4 of the.
You touched them? You've touched them, huh?
I've touched all 4.
Oh, actually, I have one more topic I would like to bring up.
Okay.
It's kind of a Bob and Kim story-esque, but I'm curious. I just want to know how. How does a man in his 30s in his own home get propositioned by a young lady who looks much better than their wife, half naked, and not do anything?
That's easy, man. You just don't want the child support. You said he's in his mid-30s?
He's in his late 30s, early 40s.
Late 30s? Yeah, that's easy. Just don't want the child support. Ain't really worth it. Ain't worth it.
But who says you... Why you gotta knock her up, though? Anyone.
The younger one?
Yeah, why is it... Who said... I didn't say anything about knocking the bitch up.
No. The child support with the wife.
Oh.
Ain't worth it. At that point in time. So, ain't worth it.
I wasn't talking about anyone specific. I'm just saying...
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like...
That man deserves like a hug or a trophy or some sort of like special day every year just to say, Good on you.
Special days. So, speaking of special days, your
Oh,
thoughts
fucking
on?
hell.
I was not
Fucking
going to bring
hell.
this up as a topic. I was going to use this as a short story, but since we're here, we might as well have the topic.
No fucking way.
Come on, hear me out. Hear me out. So, the topic
If my
of
wife ever said this to me, I honestly think I'd be in jail.
okay, so
Give the backstory.
I have a buddy who said his wife had told him it's your birthday, so you're gonna get lucky tonight. And when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna get lucky, I gotta go. We're gonna leave the gym. I'm gonna go take a shower because I'm gonna get lucky tonight." And I'm like, "For your birthday?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
She's cheating for sure. She's cheating for sure.
That's your gift. And then they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
If she's using sex as a weapon that much, she's cheating for
my thought process
sure.
is, so what about the girl you work with? So if you're sleeping with the girl you work with and your wife catches you, you'd be like, well, it's my birthday. She's just giving me a gift, right?
I love how you and I think of this way differently. I'm thinking about a trifling hoe, and you're thinking about what can I get away with?
Nah, baby, I'm just giving her a birthday gift. It's cool. It's cool. So I was like, yeah, that's the dumbest thing ever. But
that is, I mean, if my wife ever said to me, hey, for your birthday, I'm just going to have sex with you, I would say, that's nice, but that ain't a fucking gift. That sounds more like work to me. Like, so no.
Too much work, right?
Way too much work. Anyway, but to you, okay, let's unpack this for a second. Okay. On my end, because I know the way you think. You think, yeah, how can I use this? If a woman uses sex, and I hope this kid's listening, in a way where they use it as a gift to you, basically saying to you, hey, it's only worth giving to you on special occasions because you're not worth it any other time. Run.
Just walk away. Does he sound like David? What's that? Is his name Groggins? David Groggins?
Goggins. David Goggins.
You sound like
carry the boats. Yeah. You got to carry the boats.
Whenever the lady said, he's like, the guy was like, he stood up and he's like, my wife asked me for it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, dude, why are you asking him what you should do or how you should feel about it? You should have already been like, as soon as she said, I want a divorce, I've been like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Where do you sign? Listen. It's just how it is.
It's just how it is.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Don't tell me you want a divorce because
I may not be here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Yep.
Like, so, I feel like I know I don't know this guy. I know you know him. He's a friend of yours, and I don't want to talk poorly, but I just want to give him a hug and say, "That's buddy." No.
See, you're so nice. You want to give him a hug. See, the asshole in me starting to come out now. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot.
But I feel. Is he a young kid?
No, not this one. Not this
one. Like, oh my God. I cannot, like, I almost want to pull her in and be like, what do you think I would do if you said to me, I'm going to give you a present for your birthday? It's sex. I think I honestly would hit her if she said that to me. I'd be like, what the what?
See, you're so nice still. You're like, I'm going to hit you because you said that to me. I'll be like, look, babe, I can't tonight. I'm tired. Melissa done gave me a gift on the way to work.
Melissa, why is it? Why does it have to be a quintessential white girl? Why can't it be Latoya? Huh?
Latoya hit me at the lunch break. I'm all present out right now. You're gonna have to give me a minute.
You need to leave my snow bunnies alone. You have been going after them since the beginning of time, and you need to stop.
Listen. We're gonna talk about that too. It's reparations, man.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Now, I did hear something. I heard something. I actually think there's some truth to this. Well, I'll be honest with you. I've only ever messed around with one non-white person, so I don't know personally from experience. But from what I understand is that when you're a college black man, or just that age, you don't have to be necessarily in college, but that age, white girls that age are a lot easier than black girls that age. At least it was back in the day when you and I were at that age.
I would say back in the day, maybe. But it depends on, it still goes back to regional. Where are you at? where you located at.
Okay. So this was based in Florida, which I think there's a lot of truth to that statement.
Yeah, because it's still, which I mean, now that I'm older and you have internet and we've been around the world and seen different things, it's kind of, I would say region, but at the same time, it's not because
Well, now they're all trash. Like, let's be honest, they're all trash.
Yeah. So I'm just saying in the Northeast, you still had that forbidden.
Yeah.
Didn't matter where you were at. You still were going to have that forbidden. The only difference is like here, for me growing up, I only dated 2 black girls ever. And that was further off from where I lived. Like a good 2 hours away. Met them through track or foot or basketball.
Make sure they weren't related.
That being the case. Because you grew up in a small town, pretty much everybody that was black was related some way or the other. So that was a non-starter. And then...
No, I get that.
Because we ain't from Alabama. But,
what?
Come on now. Everybody knows.
Okay, let me ask you... Okay, I'm going to piggyback off the question you asked me at the end of last episode. Where is your moral line on what you would hit if they're good looking enough?
Morals ain't have nothing to do with it at this day and age.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to really paint a picture.
Okay.
First cousin comes out of the woodworks.
Uh-huh.
Are we hitting it?
How much money?
Clip it.
I'm going to say it like this right here. For $2 billion, I'll do pretty much anything. It's a right.
Oh, man. That's fair. You're speaking my language. There's really not a whole lot. Yeah. Like, oh, my God. We are such fucking whores. Like, imagine if we were females. Just think about that for a second. If we were females, what we would have done.
Let's think
yeah,
about
come on. We would have been such whores.
With $2 billion, though, you got to think about this.
You can buy a new dick. You can buy everything.
I'm not even worried about that. Like, who's going to make fun of you?
Yeah.
You slept with your cousin. I'm going to take that money and be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm out. Hide the cash, the 4 people around.
True story. That's a fair story.
That's where you're going to be like, I could care less.
Yeah, and that's where I am on that other topic where I'm like, I don't care.
Somebody's making fun of you. Just for instance, they're like, you slept with your cousin. And then you're like, who's your most famous person that you like love and want to meet? And they're like, Scarlett Johansson. Bam. Got her. I like them apples. I'm Matt Damon in this bitch.
The sad part is, when you said that just now, you know what name came to mind? Was fucking Robbie Berger. Fuck you, Robbie.
See, but that's what I'm saying. At that point, you could care less what anybody thinks of you.
Yeah, I'd fuck Fat Perez for enough money, 100%.
So,
yeah, that's fair.
But I think that's also our generation. We are so fucked. We are so fucked. Like,
well, I was reading something that said our generation has been through the most turmoil of any generation. If you think about it, if you put it on paper.
I don't think so.
Yeah, the boomers had World War I and World War II and Vietnam and Korea as far as wars. But they didn't, and they had the Great Depression. But we had a depression, wars, technological change, politics.
Did we, though?
Did we have what, wars?
On a scale of...
Oh, we didn't have the same level. No, God, no. We didn't have the same level. Not even close.
Yeah, I look at from what they went through, and I'm just like... No matter how bad.
So then, why are men so soft nowadays? Those men.
We touched this one. We touched.
Like, I don't get it.
Why do you think they're soft?
Because everything bugs them.
Nope.
Everything gets to them.
Hormones.
Do you really? But like, I had for instance, I had mine checked because I thought I had low T. Coming to find out, my T was off the fucking charts.
You can still have high testosterone. And your hormones still be all out of whack.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I have very high testosterone. Hormones are out of whack because of the chemicals we put in our bodies now. Think about it. When they were eating meat back then, it wasn't that processed. Even if you kill a cow and you take it and get it processed now, they add a bunch of chemicals in it to make it stay good for a lot longer, which messes with your hormones. So
Do you think that old saying of hard times make hard men and soft times make soft men?
yeah, but can we really have hard times anymore?
Yeah, it's either kind of all or nothing. I mean, either we have these little tiny bitch fights or we have nuclear warfare.
See, I don't think nuclear warfare is our big leave the world behind. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the only way, and you'll see. That is you've got to turn it off. Go watch it, and we're gonna
I'm
talk
not
about this
watching
on
it tonight. I will watch it, but I'm not watching it tonight.
So
I got
you
shit to
gotta.
do. I got real world shit to deal with, Mike. I'm not just in it for the thrills.
Oh, you're gonna be in for the thrills whenever you watch it. After this, though, it warps you to be like, oh man, it warps you so bad that you're like,
I do agree that the real powers are not the powers we think they are. I do I've always thought that. I've always looked
okay,
at the world and been like, this can't be the real people in charge. They're morons.
yeah,
Like,
that
also the young man in me used to say, they can't be the ones in charge because I could beat the shit out of them. So why hasn't somebody else? You know what I mean?
you know what really baffles me, which I can't really talk about it on here, is Kennedy, last president to be assassinated,
Yeah,
and we've
that
had
is.
some
But
pretty,
here's the thing. That's what shows you it was an inside job.
yeah.
Because
So
it
you're
was. I
saying
mean,
they can't be touched now?
yeah, and that's not even close. We have better people that are good marksmen now than we ever have.
Yeah.
So no, that's not it. It's because nobody wants that clout, that kind of clout.
So speaking of K,
No, but hey, nobody ever did, and that's why Kennedy was taken out by our own fucking government,
yeah. So
or not our
speaking of K,
government, not our government, the people above the government.
okay. So speaking of K, so now that he is no
Oh,
longer
okay. Sorry, took me a minute. Oh, we were supposed to have him
employed,
on today. We're supposed to do it. Then
yeah,
we'll have to do it Thursday.
we'll have to do it Thursday. But now that he's no longer employed, does he have to be K or does he
Yeah,
get
he's
a
gotta be
name again?
K. No, because the jobs
Really?
he applies for do social media searches and do like, yeah, he's still gotta be K. I don't know if we have to black his face out, but we gotta call him K when he, yeah. I've already
Or
talked to him about this because he's like, hey, the jobs I apply for, as he would put it, I don't apply for poor jobs. They do. Because
well,
according to
see,
him, you and I have poor jobs.
oh
But
man, here we talked about. I was in the gym yesterday, and we were leaving, and somebody was like, we were talking about dream jobs, and
not to have one.
yeah, and that's what me and that person said. The other person was like, I've kind of got my dream job, and I was like, my dream job would be not to work. Like I've done this too long, and that's where it's different. So like when somebody's like, "You have a poor job," and I was like, "No shit, I have a job. If I was not poor, I wouldn't have a job. That's no shit."
But this motherfucker can lose his job for 2 years and be fine.
Yeah. So
So, but no,
I
he's
put
like, no, I can't have my name on there. So it is what it is. I don't know how how the dynamic of the three of us on a podcast is going to work because he's all over the place. You and I can go back and forth, kind of follow a train of thought, do a little bit of a tangent. His
yeah.
tangents will go zing, zang, zoom, and I'm gonna be like, what the fuck did we just talk about?
It'll be fun to edit.
Yeah, thank God that's your job. I'll just
So it'll be
mark the
fun to edit.
shorts like I always do. Yeah.
So
No, we'll have to definitely have him on. I also want to have on the original Bob. I want the original Bob on.
he's been asking. He said something the other day.
Does he know we're talking about him?
No, not yet. Not yet.
He does
Not yet.
now.
No, not yet. Not yet. But see, that's the thing, though. Like, I think we need to have on. We're gonna have to have James on before he leaves.
Yeah.
Because he leaves
Yeah,
in
just
February.
even just for me to say hi.
He leaves in February, so we're gonna have
We
to
also
have
need a
him on.
female on. And it can't be one of our wives.
I know. I'm trying to think of who.
Who the fuck do we know that's not our wife? That's the sad part, right?
Oh no.
No.
Unlimited.
I also believe, and I speak for the audience out there, where the fuck is our Amanda story?
I have to re-record it. Remember, we talked about this. We just talked about this yesterday.
I did my story.
I know. We just talked about this. So they were so jacked up.
Jesus Christ.
Which I needed to go back and re-edit it and do some stuff.
Just,
anyway,
just helping the stereotypes out there. A black man trying to get out of work. Just saying.
But let's think about this. I gave you the other story that is in the midst of that story.
What other story?
I even gave you Justin's name.
Well, I don't give a shit. That story, I mean, as much fun as that story is, and that's wonderful, and I'm sorry for your friend, it doesn't hold a candle to the Amanda story. It doesn't even come close. I hate to break it to you. The amount of different characters that are involved, and the different levels of that, and the fact that you literally are talking about getting swabbed, like, what are we talking about here?
Here's the thing, though. The whole situation that goes on in that story is a big time flag for YouTube. Like if you're talking about getting your channel blocked, that one will get your channel blocked.
But the R doesn't happen. It was invited.
I know. They don't care. They don't care.
That's messed up. If she's asking for it, what are you supposed to do? Say no? What am I going to do? Say no?
So I said no. I said no.
You did, but you might as well have.
No. And not even because of...
You know who we should have on? Oh my God, that's a good idea. You want to know who we should have on? And you have the connections to pull this off? Let's have Jersey on. That would be so cool. I would pick her brain.
We can't do that one.
Why?
I don't think we can do that one.
Why? She doesn't even know who I am.
She doesn't know who you are. But...
And yours doesn't know who she is.
Yeah. But that wouldn't even be a big deal. The whole Bob thing would be like...
We just would never have Bob on.
You could never have Bob on, and then you'd be like... It'd be like, what the...
We would finally go viral on YouTube. We would film everybody's reaction. We'd have to say, all right, everyone that knows this story has to film their reaction. And post it.
That would be hilarious, though.
Like, that would be such a good gig, because everyone would be like, why is this such a big deal? It's just some regular chick. And it's like, no, it's not. You got to listen to the story.
It's so much better than that. But
yeah. She could have gave him our dream.
No, not my dream. But
a starting dream. Yeah, like a wet dream.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Get my toes wet.
She'd get you in the right network of people, let's be honest. You could leapfrog.
Yeah, you could bound up.
Yeah.
So you just need to you gotta get me in the room where it happened, because that's all I need. So talk about my little house, my 9-hole golf course.
She could probably got you there pretty damn close. God. Youth is wasted on the young. But with that note, this has been another weird and random talk. Some laughs, some anger, some topics that didn't make a whole lot of sense. And just so we all can agree, if you don't know, who gives a shit?
Right.
And that being said, I'm Eric.
I'm Myric.
He's Myric. That's a wrap.